Good morning, guys, and welcome to the show. Now, just a sec. Today is Thursday, January 3rd, 2019, and we got a lot of interesting stuff happening out there right now. First off, you have to understand something. Something is congealing with the Yellow Vest movement. It doesn't really have a leader, but now there's stuff going on with this. I see a trend developing. And this trend is a trend that's moving toward a political movement worldwide. I'll call it not really a political movement, but it's a movement of the people. It's a populist movement worldwide. And there's no real face to this movement. It's just dissatisfaction in the people because they can't put food on the table. It's getting down to the point now where people can't put food on the table. So the French are getting desperate. They're looking for anybody out there that might look like a leader. Grab them and throw them in prison. You know what I mean? And this is the thing. Well, arrest them anyway. Maybe throw them in prison. But I don't really see this working very good for the French government ultimately in the end. Because what they'll do is they can turn these people into leaders of the movement. The people that are arrested. And then when it gets a face, the movement gets a face and it actually has leaders behind it, then the movement could become more powerful than a leaderless movement. And the French, by doing these things, they could actually create leaders. What are they going to do? Keep these people in prison forever? You know? Because they had a yellow vest on? I mean, they're getting desperate now. The French are getting desperate. And desperate people do desperate things. So let's take a look. Let's get the charts open right here and take a look what's going on. It says French police today arrest key yellow vest figure. Now, see, what they did was key yellow vest. I guess they tell all the people in France, hey, you know what? You guys all have to wear yellow vests. Have to have yellow vests in your car and wear yellow vests. Then they see a guy that's got a yellow vest on. They say, grab him. He's a key figure. Well, I mean, this guy, I guess his name was Eric Drouet, you know. But the French, I mean, they're desperate now. They're looking for leaders in a leaderless organization. Well, they'll create leaders. But let's move on. We got a lot to talk about today, and we got a lot of ground to cover. First thing we're going to start with is Deutsche Bank. Deutsche Bank, you know what? It's just keeping its head above water. That's all it's doing. It's keeping its head above water barely. Just take a look at this bottom bouncing here. We're looking at the last 5 days, basically bottom bouncing. And take a look for the last month. It's been a slow descent. Not even bottom bouncing, a slow descent. Right now it's bottom bouncing. Just trying to stay afloat. They're at 7.12 euros, just above 6.99 or whatever. It's just into the sevens, barely. So we got to keep a tight eye on Deutsche Bank. Deutsche Bank, quite literally, could go down in the next 2 or 3 months. And if Deutsche Bank goes down, we're going to have a huge derivatives book explode into the world. And what that'll do is, that'll create collateral damage within the banking system. That's what it'll do. And what'll have to happen then, next, is the central banks will have to try to repair that collateral damage. They will. They will repair it. Deutsche Bank will not cause a systematic worldwide meltdown if Deutsche Bank goes down, because they will repair the collateral damage in the banking system. But that collateral damage in the banking system is going to affect a lot of other institutions, and it's going to set off a worldwide recession if that happens. So we're going to go straight into recession if Deutsche Bank goes down. Straight into a worldwide recession. And then the result from that worldwide recession is going to be stimulus measures to prop up the ailing banks, the problem that Deutsche Bank will create. So what it'll do is it'll cause a transition in the financial system. It'll cause a period of turmoil within the financial system. Anyway, let's move on. We got a lot to talk about more. Let's start with the silver price now. And what we're looking at, silver and gold, like I say, I got a lot to cover today. I just want to call it right now. Silver and gold, I think, have put in their final bottoms. I think we're entering into a a bull market. I think we've been in a cyclical bull all the way through, but we went through a little bit of a corrective phase in that massively. If you take a look at the charts over a long period of time, you'll see that we've been in the bull market the whole time. But we had I don't know exactly I'm having a brain fart to try to think of the word for it. But gold has even though it's went down in this bull market to where it is now, it's starting to make the turn now. She's starting to come back up again. She's starting to go into she's starting to rally back. It's starting to happen. It's just started not long ago. And I don't think it's going to stop. I think it's going to be a steady trudge upwards for gold and silver now for probably the next, until we get these financial problems in the world solved. So it could be a long bull market because we got a lot of problems. Okay, so let's take a look now at Bitcoin, see what it's doing. If we take a look at Bitstamp and we go to, let's go out so you can see it better. If we go to, say, the 30-minute, and we'll haul back a little ways so you can see what's going on. You can see it's been, for the last little while, she's been trudging along pretty level. I think she's down pretty near bottom, if she's not on bottom already. And this market might be getting ready to start to turn, too. She's at 38.41 this morning at Bitstamp. And this price seems to have an awful lot of stability now. Bitcoin is it's kind of finding its own now that all of the air has been let out of the bubble, or most of it. I would say at least 90% of the air has been let out of the bubble already on Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. And so that's what's going on. Let's take a look at cryptocurrency market capitalizations. $132 billion with a Bitcoin dominance of 51.4%. And we see a mixed bag. Some coins are going up and some coins are going down. Okay, so now let's talk about the Dow Jones. She's down 629 points today. It basically amounts to this. The Federal Reserve and all of their cronies and all of the crooks that work for the Federal Reserve have sacrificed the stock market to save the dollar in the bond market. Now, they're caught. They're caught in a trap because they can't let the stock market roll over too far, or it'll be trouble. So they're going to have to relent on one way or the other. They're going to be forced to relent on what they're trying to do, you know. Because look at the stock market. It's down 629 points right now, down 2.7%. We're in the middle of a crash. Now here I'm going to tell you how this crash is unfolding and what I'm expecting next. I'm expecting a little rally back in the stock market. We've went down to a certain point now where we're going to start to meet resistance and stuff, and we're going to get a little rally back. You watch, it's probably going to be about a 4 or 5 day rally that's probably going to be extended out a little ways, and people are going to start to feel good again. That's what I think is coming. But that rally is just a little bump on the way down. That's what it's going to turn out to be. So we're going to have a rally. It's going to rally back. This is what I think is going to happen. And then I think she's going to start to fall again later. Probably next month. Start to fall again. And when she starts to fall again, it'll probably be worse than this one. But expect a little rally back. I'm kind of expecting a little rally back around now. Not today. I'm not talking about today. I'm talking about maybe tomorrow or the next day out. A couple days out. A little rally is kind of what I'm expecting. Okay, so now let's take a look at Sweet Light crude oil. 46.39, down 15 cents on the day. We're looking at 0.32% down. But if we go back on the chart and we take a look like at the last 6 months, we can just see this steady decline, and it's not over. You can see it's not over. Now, she's drifting along sideways a little bit for about the last week or so. But okay, I'll tell you when she started drifting along sideways. On the 18th of December. So she's been basically going sideways since the 18th of December on crude oil price. Okay? But we had that huge descent down from around $76 all the way down to a low of $43.93. Okay, and so far we haven't really pulled out of that. We're still in that bear market on crude until I see that, until I see it start to pop, and the price start to pop back up again. Okay, so now let's take a look at bonds and rates today. The Treasury bond market, and we're seeing the Treasury bonds doing rather well. We see yields dropping. That's intense buying in the Treasury bonds. We're looking at U.S. 10-year at 2.58%, which is really, really, there's been a lot of buying, a lot of purchasing of them, and this has been driving yields down. And this means that the Treasury bond market's doing rather well at the sacrifice of the stock market. They're sacrificing the stock market to try to improve these markets. And they've been successful. They've been selling their U.S. Treasuries really well. And look at these yields. Yields are dropping today, dropping quite substantially, 2.58% on the U.S. 10-year. Now, I didn't expect this. I never expected this much selling on U.S. Treasury and Treasury bonds. But I didn't realize that the investors have come in quite so heavy, considering these assets as better than gold. Basically, that's what they're doing. They're putting their money in there because they think that this is the best place to put your money right now. It's a safe haven for them. They think it's a safe haven. I think it's garbage they're buying, but they think it's a safe haven. Anyway, let's take a look at the U.S. dollar index today. It's the last thing we haven't looked at, and it's at 96.33. And I'll tell you what, with all they're doing with the U.S. Treasury bonds, with all they're doing in the stock market and everything else, and the deflation that's hitting us right now, and everything else that's going on with the dollar, the raising interest rates and everything else, this dollar should be popping up. And it was in the 97s. Now it's in the 96s. And I'm going to tell you what, this does not bode well, the fact that they're putting so much into trying to get the dollar up, and the dollar's still not going up. Should tell investors something about the strength of the dollar. And the reason why is because the dollar is being eroded. The Chinese are buying gold like crazy. The Russians are buying gold like crazy. And I'm going to tell you what, this is because they got a plan. And in their plan, it's not a plan for the dollar. It's a plan against the dollar. They're planning to utterly, they want to destroy the dollar. They're sick and tired of the dollar being the world reserve currency. And if they destroy the dollar, they're going to destroy America. Donald Trump, he's doing his best, but oh my gosh, when that man come into office, I'm going to tell you, they gave him a mess. Talk about a mess. He's used to buying distressed companies and stuff, you know, and companies that are already bankrupt and turning them around. He's a businessman. But they basically gave him a bankrupt America and said, here you go, when he came into office. That's what they did. They gave him a country that was ready to fall over and die. And the country was so indebted and everything. Obama messed everything up so bad, the Obama administration. And when he came in there, I mean, it was just a total mess. And he's doing his best, but I'm going to tell you, he's working against a bunch of a swamp in there in Washington, you know. And you have to work in a bipartisan way. In that swamp means you have to try to work with those swamp creatures, you know. And it's must not be easy, you know. Anyway, listen, thank you guys for listening. Like and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next show. Bye-bye, guys.